Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we'll be taking a look at the DX Hikari Kyutama from Uchu's Sentai Kyuranger. Basically this is kind of a special Kyutama in the fact that it has its own lights and sounds inside. It has the power of sun and moon, depending on which way you turn it. You can see here it's primarily used by Shishi Red. When he uses the moon, he gets this crescent moon through his head, and then when he uses the sun, he has these like rays of the sun shining off. Kind of a neat look. It is compatible, of course, with the Seiza Blaster, as we see on the back. Now, because of the way it's shaped, it's not really compatible with Kyuranger or the Voyagers or whatnot. I mean, you might be able to plug it onto the back of, like, maybe one that just has the Kyutama hang off the back, like, Washi Pink or something like that. You might be able to just plug it on, but what's the point? It would look ridiculous. Certainly, it's not going to fit inside Kyuranger or anything like that. And you shouldn't have to shine a light through for a picture because it has its own lights and sounds. So pretty much it. Pretty simple packaging, but we'll go ahead, we'll get out of the packaging, and we'll take a closer look. So here is the Hikari Kyutama out of the package. As you can see here, this says sun. Turn it around, it says moon. So if you start here and you press the button on top, it activates the sun mode. Taiyo being the Japanese word for sun. And you just keep hitting the button to cycle through the sounds. I like that music. So you get about 3 sounds, and then you do the roll call of the Kyurangers, and then you're back to the beginning. So that's it for the sun, and I should say the speakers here on the back. I think this is like a reset button, but I'm not sure. I don't know really what that does. And then if you need to change the batteries out, they're behind this little panel here. You just remove this one screw. The batteries come included. You pull the little plastic tab out, so you do not need to supply your own batteries, which is nice. Turning it upside down, now we're in moon mode. You can see the opposite part of the globe is now lit up for the moon, meaning moon mode. So we got the 3 sounds, and now we're going to go through the roll call again. I love the moon's voice. And then back around to the front. So there you go. I don't know if anyone else, but the red side here is reminding me like of a side view of Sonic's head, like when they'll do like a Team Sonic logo. Is anyone else getting that? Is it just me? Sonic the Hedgehog? No? Am I crazy? In any case, that's what it reminds me of. But that's pretty much it for this on its own. Now it looks like it has these little buttons on the side. And I don't really know what they do. They don't seem to trigger any sounds. I don't know if they're going to be a release for something later on. Or maybe they're there just so you can't try to plug it into like one of the Voyagers or something. I'm not really sure. It's weird. I don't know what these little tabs are for. Maybe we'll find out one day. But that's pretty much it for this thing on its own. I'm going to bring in the Seiza Blaster and we can get the extra sounds from that. Alright, so I got my trusty Seiza Blaster here. I'm going to start with the Sun mode. So you can, I guess what I'll do is first I'll just pop it in. So you can see. Now, if you go ahead. If you hit the button like normal. The Seiza Blaster just does a couple light sounds that are really hard to hear because this is just continuing to cycle, so you have to hit it again. Except now they don't line up. So it's really weird. If you just hit the button, the Seiza Blaster kind of turns off, but this thing keeps going. So I'm going to start again because otherwise they don't line up. So it's pretty cool. I like the sounds there. Little melodies, very nice. If I press the button on top, it's just going to keep making that sound. If I do like the Voyager call, so nothing really happens. If I press it a second time, and you can see that by doing it, it doesn't trigger this at all. Whereas when I press it forward, this thing knows to start making noise. You know what? That's probably what this button is for. I'm just realizing that. When the button's held down, this button probably hits off this piece right here. Yep. There we go. We discovered the mystery. That's what that little tab is for. That's why it doesn't react really when you do any of the other... Like if I hit back. So like the Seiza Blaster will kind of make its generic noises because it still knows there's a Kyutama in there. But this thing will only react when you push it forward because of that little tab on the side that I talked about earlier. So that's kind of interesting. It doesn't really do anything else as far as noises go. So I wonder if I held this button down and then just pressed this. So there you go. You can do it on your own. You don't even really need the Seiza Blaster. I mean, the Seiza Blaster makes its own sounds, but you could do that. So the other thing is, if I cycle through... Alright, if we're on Okami Blue and we go ahead and plug this in. Still going to say Shishi Red, so that's kind of a bummer. You have the whole roll call, but it won't remember which one it's on. Anytime you put it in the Seiza Blaster, it always just defaults to Shishi Red. Now that might be because maybe on the show he's the only one that's going to actually use it, but there have been times where, or I should say the episode where it debuted, he used it, but then like its power kind of radiated off of him and powered up other members on the team, so maybe that's why the roll call's in there. I'm not 100% sure about that. But that's pretty much it. You get the sounds from, rocking it forward. The other ones don't really make any special noises that are specific to this. And no matter which Kyuranger you choose from the roll call, it's always going to say Shishi Red. But we can turn it upside down and now pop in the moon side. It's a little difficult to get both of these clips in. Sometimes you have to help it. You have to manually clip it in. So sorry, I'm going to start that again. Try to get this in as easy as I can. Now if you were to press this or the button on the top at this point, just a generic sound. That was weird. This thing is a little temperamental. There we go. I think because it's kind of top heavy, it accidentally rocked back. So there you go, you get Shishi Red Moon if you hit the button on top. So that's it. Again, if you just kind of makes a generic noise because this button's not being activated by rocking backwards. So yeah, that is pretty much it. And once again, stupid thing. So again, just to prove my point, no matter which one you choose in the roll call, it's going to say Shishi Red. I don't know why. It's not as bad with the sun, probably just because of this big piece here where the batteries are. When you put it in for the moon side, that makes it a little back heavy, so it's constantly wanting to fall back into the attack. So sometimes I'll try to hit it the first time, and then it'll go forward, and then on the gravity will bring it back, and so it'll be trying to henshin and attack at the same time. It's weird. But in any case, that's what you get for its functionality with the Seiza Blaster. So I have to confess, I'm a little underwhelmed, but I don't really know what I expected. It's kind of nice to have a Kyutama that has lights and sounds on its own, so I will give it that. You get about 3 specific sounds for each mode, plus the roll call of the 11 Kyurangers, which is pretty much the same, just read in a different voice, because Sun and Moon kind of have their own personality, for lack of a better term. Their own voice, for sure. So yeah, it's neat that you get the lights and sounds. You can turn it upside down and it works in both ways. But when you think about a normal Kyutama as far as functionality goes, you're really only getting like 2 specific sounds. You're getting the name of the Kyutama and then the attack sound, because the Voyager and the attack sound are pretty much the same. So at least for this, you're getting like 14 sounds per side. Then when you put it in the Seiza Blaster and you rock it forward, you get the kind of transformation sound, and then you get like 1, I guess, attack sound when you press the button after the transformation. So it's decent. It's not a lot. It's not too little. I think it's, it's average. I guess that's kind of my point. The nice thing about it is it's not terribly expensive. I think it was somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 yen, if I'm remembering correctly. And I mean, hey, three of these little watch batteries will cost you about $7. So when you think about that, the batteries are worth it alone. But in any case, like I said, I know I'm just kind of rambling and I'm not really doing this thing justice at this point, but it's okay. If you want to wait for a sale, I couldn't blame you. I don't think this thing is going to fly off the shelves because I don't know how many episodes it's going to be used in. It debuted in one episode, I want to say 2 to 3 weeks ago at this point, and I don't think we've seen it since. It's kind of neat. I like it. I don't know if we'll see any kind of figure or vinyl doll representations of these modes for Shishi Red. Probably not. The other thing I was going to mention, it would be really cool if you could cycle through to, say, I don't know, Sasori Orange, and then pop it in and do the change, and it would say, like, you know, Sasori Orange, Moon, or something, and then, so no matter who you picked, it actually said that person in the transformation. But I guess that's not show relevant, because I think Shishi Red's going to be the only one that uses it on the show, so that might be why he's the only one that can transform. But then why have the roll call of all the Kyurangers? I don't know. A little confusing there. But it is additional sounds you get, so take it for what you will. I think this is definitely going to be something that a lot of people like. Some people don't care about at all. I think this one's going to be a little polarizing just because I could easily see people thinking it's dumb or just doesn't do enough. Or I could see people loving it because they want a Kyutama that has lights and sounds on its own. And for that, I think it's good. I think it does accomplish what it's set out to do. I guess I just expected a little bit more, but I didn't really have any reason to. So that's probably just my false expectations, and I need to better learn to manage them. But again, I'm just rambling at this point. It's an okay toy. If you want to wait for a sale, I wouldn't blame you. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to hear your opinions. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the DX Hikari Kyutama from Uchu Sentai Kyuranger. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.